Today, people rarely speak like that, but for Greek heroes in the Iliad, or in older societies in general, it was normal to strive for excellence. It was not an outlier like it is in today's world. And I was wondering, how can we be excellent today? What I found was a study named The Mundanity of Excellence, and in it, Daniel Chambliss observed Olympian swimmers over more than a year to find out what sets them apart, what makes them excellent. And he found 3 points which lead to excellence. And though the study was mostly focused on swimmers, Chambliss himself suggests that we can transfer this knowledge to all kinds of endeavors. Now first, what's even excellence? By excellence, I mean consistent superiority of performance. The excellent athlete regularly, even routinely, performs better than his or her competitors. 1. It is more about quality, not quantity. Excellence is a qualitative phenomenon. Doing more does not equal doing better. High performers focus on qualitative, not quantitative improvements. It is qualitative improvements which produce significant changes in level of achievement. Quality matters more than quantity to achieve excellence. But what is the difference between those two? Quantitative means doing more of the same kind. Let's say we increase our practice time from 3 to 4 hours. That's a quantitative change. Qualitative means doing things differently. So it's a change of what or how something is done instead of simply doing more of the same kind. A change in technique can be a qualitative change. A swimmer can go up 1 or 2 leagues higher than he currently is swimming in. And he will probably see swimmers which are much more refined and much better technique than he possesses himself. Now, and this is a big difference to a qualitative change, because the swimmer, who's like, let's say, on the lowest level of some swimming competitions, has probably like his technique of doing a breaststroke. And he can train this breaststroke from 2 to 4 hours a day, right? But still, when it's a bad breaststroke, like the technique is bad, even if he perfects this bad technique, it's still like a bad technique, right? So a qualitative change to look at others like how they do it, or copy their better technique, is like a big change in quality. Another qualitative change is discipline. The best swimmers are more likely to be strict with their training, coming to workouts on time, carefully doing the competitive strokes legally, watch what they eat, sleep regular hours, do proper warm-ups before a meet, and the like. Their energy is carefully channeled. Chambliss in the study mentioned one diver who only trained 3 hours per day. But those 3 hours were perfectly planned, like they were perfectly done. They were in perfect focus. Discipline matters. Discipline is a qualitative change. Another qualitative change is attitude. At the higher levels of competitive swimming, something like an inversion of attitude takes place. The rubbery features of the sport, which the sea swimmers finds unpleasant, the top-level swimmers enjoys. What others see as boring, swimming back and forth over a black line for 2 hours, say, they find peaceful, even meditative, often challenging or therapeutic. They enjoy hard practices, look forward to difficult competitions, try to set difficult goals. All this leads to the conclusion that quality matters more in the pursuit of excellence than quantity. I am suggesting here that athletes do not reach the top level by a simple process of working their way up, by accumulating sheer time in the sport. Improvements across levels of the sport are not generated through quantitative changes. No amount of extra work per se will transform a sea swimmer into a AAAA swimmer without a concurrent qualitative change in how that work is done. It is not by doing increasing amounts of work that one becomes excellent, but rather by changing the kinds of work. So quantitative changes are mostly only worth it with a change also in quality. 2. It is not about talent. Talent is a useless concept. Varying conceptions of natural ability, talent, for example, tend to mystify excellence, treating it as the inherent possession of a few. They mask the concrete actions that create outstanding performance. This point is basically what excellence is not about. It is not about an inherent predisposition, according to Chambliss. He argues that we use the notion of a talent to justify our own incapabilities. Because when we tell someone, okay, yeah, this person just has talent, that's why he or she is like so excellent, so great, and we can't even compare with that person because, yes, they had like some predisposition to be great or like to be really good at this sport, for example, or really good at this kind of endeavor. Still, we want to believe in talent. As Jean-Paul Sartre put it, what people would like is that a coward or a hero be born that way, knowing that it protects us by degrading the very achievement that it pretends to elevate, magically separating us from those people who are great athletes, ensuring that we are incomparable to them, and relieving those of us who are not excellent of responsibility for our own condition. 3. The mundanity of excellence. Excellence is mundane. Excellence is accomplished through the doing of actions, ordinary in themselves, performed consistently and carefully, habitualized, compounded together, added up over time. while these actions are qualitatively different from those of performers at other levels, these differences are neither unmanageable nor, taken one step at a time, terribly difficult. Chambliss' biggest finding is that excellence is quite mundane. It is to focus on the little task and train them routinely until they all together make one excellent. Superlative performance is really a confluence of dozens of small skills or activities, each one learned or stumbled upon, which have been carefully drilled into habit and then are fitted together in a synthesized whole. There's nothing extraordinary or superhuman in any one of those actions. Only the fact that they are done consistently and correctly and all together produce excellence. So instead of pointing at talent, Chambliss points out that there's no secret about excellence. There's no secret. There's only the doing of all those little things, each one done correctly time and again until excellence in every detail becomes a firmly ingrained habit, an ordinary part of one's everyday life. But even though it sounds now for everyone attainable, which might be the case, nearly no one will achieve it. Even though the theory behind how to be excellent might be easy to grasp, one can only become excellent by doing the action. Now, let's put it all together. And what better example could there be than an example of how to not do it? And in this case, I will use my own YouTube channel here, Character and Cognition, because while I was researching for this video, I found out that I did a lot of things for this project, like for this YouTube channel, like wrong. So let's have a look what I did wrong and what I can do, like according to Chambliss, to become excellent, like at least like with this YouTube channel here. And you can reflect and maybe transfer that what you now learn here to your own projects and to reflect yourself if you are on the right way to become excellent. 80% of it all are the basics. The basics are we have to show up to whatever we want to get good at. If we fail to start, we can't reach excellence in the first place. Quantity matters here, since we have to put in the work to get to a certain level. But even here, quantity is nothing without quality. In my case, I was producing already nearly 70 videos. And I noticed that I kept mostly working on the same bad videos. And now even if I can put out each week a video, and I, let's say, put in each video 40 hours of work, but if it's bad and I'm repeating the same process, like for many videos, which I did, all the work time I put inside bring no progress. On this level, it's also about not doing big mistakes. And in the YouTube example, audio is an important factor. Like it's a basic part of a video, right? It's video and audio. And for over 50 videos, my audio wasn't optimal, but it was quite an easy fix. The same goes for a swimmer when some basic movement isn't optimal. For example, you're breathing. Then nearly everything else does not matter. So getting the basics right, not doing big mistakes in the basics area, can bring us a far, far way to become excellent. Let's say 19%, it's about getting good. Here it shifts already to quality. We have to constantly look what qualitative adjustments we can do, what little things we can change. If they work, focus on them more to make them habits. And what I missed before, we can get good fast at something. The basics are important, yes, but the basics can be normally learned fast. The basics are not where we create a lot of value. We create value when we start to become good at something, right? And this is where I have to get better. Since I made many videos, I got a lot of feedback. And with that, I can figure out what can be much better. While in the first step, iterations matter more, like in the basic step, to get the feedback in the first place. Now it matters to focus on quality. Better to make 10 good videos than 100 average ones. 1% is about being excellent. Quantity will not bring us far anymore here. Quality is what matters. What can be changed in order to make it better? Better one excellent video than 100 average ones. And then repeating the excellence of a video, one video by a time. It's about doing all the little tasks consistently until they are habitual and then bring them all together. And of course, that needs time. We can't just immediately be excellent in some area. But sometimes we can be baffled how fast we can become so. Chambliss talks in a study about a swimmer who started with 19 and 3 years later he won the Olympics. Intense 3 years focused on excellence, yes, but most likely worth it. It's not all about quantity, right? It's about when you know what qualitative levers you have to pull or like what you have to change in your quality, then you can make extreme fast progress. In our world, everything is changing fast, but that also means that we can learn things fast. We have the tools around us, we just have to use them, or like we have the information around us, we just have to use them. So the first step is always to do something about it, to start. This is where most people are failing, because most people will never start. And the second step where most people are failing, they give up too early, right? They don't have endurance. But to be excellent takes time. Something that irritates you and won't let you go. That's the anguish of it. Do this book or die. You have to go through that. Talent is insignificant. I know a lot of talented ruins. Beyond talent lie all the usual words. Discipline, love, luck, but most of all, endurance. This video here is an addition to my previous video, The Virtues of Greek Heroes, which was about the Iliad. because one of the virtues of the Greek heroes was to strive for excellence. It was much more normal in their times to also talk about it, to openly declare that one is striving for excellence. It was even needed to become a hero. So when you may be interested in some virtues of Greek heroes and a little bit more about the topic of excellence, consider checking out this video. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you got some value out of it. If you want to go for the pursuit of excellence, I wish you all the best, and as always, I wish you a fantastic day.